good morning. Give me hashtag live, hashtag replay. We are talking about working smarter, not harder today on the Wealthy Mama Show. So let me know that you're here and you're tuning in and you're so excited because I am very, very excited for you. My nervous system is feeling really good as a mom today. Some days with that morning drop-off hustle, it takes me like half the morning to like get myself regulated, and then I can get into like one project and then it's time to go pick up children, right? Like we have a very different life and business as a mom, and that's exactly it's different. It's different for us moms. So I am so excited to talk about this topic because it's really about structure, it's about systems, it's about strategy, it's about time management, and most importantly, it's about amazing support, which is why I've brought one of the most amazing experts on today to pour into all the wealthy mamas. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Nellie. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good.
I am excited to have you on today because you're the queen of automation, and it's all about working smarter, not harder, because you have a busy life. So tell the audience who you are, what you do. You're a mom, like give us all the deets.
Yes. I'm trying to figure out this tripod. Sorry. I recently just bought a new one in hopes that it makes things simpler, but I actually think it made it harder. So
Oh no.
Hello. Thank you for having me first off. Thank you for sharing me with your audience. Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Hardy. I'm an email marketing strategist. What I help women do is I help coaches and experts sell their things through email marketing, and our goal is to help you sell daily so that you can get off the nasty live launch roller coaster that a lot of people just really don't like. Mom life, I have a 10-year-old.
Like, how old is that?
I have a 10-year-old who's in 5th grade, and I have a 5-year-old and 6-year-old who's in kindergarten. This is the first and the last time they will ever be in school together in my entire life. So we're relishing this year because we know, like all the other years, next year is going to go back to 2 crazy different schedules.
Yes. And like, do they ride the bus or do you drop them off?
Oh my gosh, they ride the bus, and the bus stop is literally out our back door, and we cross over the street and it's right there. It's awesome. It's so good.
That's like a time upgrade. It's like, oh, I don't have to drop them off and pick them up every day. It's like so nice.
School is 30 minutes away. Like
it
takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like today they have conferences, and so they're getting out of school early because the school shuts down for conferences. So like I have to be there at 12:20. That's when school gets out. But like it takes a good 15 minutes to find parking, and then it takes 30 minutes to get there. So I'm like doing the backward math, trying to figure out when do I need to leave?
Right. Mom brain. It's so real. Which is exactly why like automation is so nice, because there's so much in our day-to-day as moms that we can't delegate. We can't automate, right? Like we can do our very, very best, but there's still going to be babies that need baths and homework that needs done. And like, we want to be a present mom. So this really, like, I remember when we talked months ago and I joined your program, and it's like, this is life proofing your business. So talk to us about like, if someone's really like newer to this automation game, like why should they care about this? Why should they make time to do this? How do we get started? Like act as if we have no idea.
Yeah. So, when we first started businesses, we see the big names, right? They're all doing like the live launches, right? They're doing the webinars, the challenges, all that stuff. And all those things are great and awesome. I'm not like anti-live launch. They have a whole team that's supporting them. They have people that are like doing this work for them. They've invested heavily in their business at this point. They have, people. And so us trying to do the same thing that they're doing when you're not in that same level simply doesn't work. Like, I don't care how, like, you can take all the courses, you can take all the stuff, you can educate yourself in the most possible way. But like, at the end of the day, you don't have the same situation as they do. So us trying to do the same thing that they have is completely unrealistic. Like, completely unrealistic. So like, there has to be a different way that we go about getting to that point. And again, I'm not saying you can't get to that point. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying like, you're comparing apples to oranges. So how can we get to that point so that we can have launches like that and we can have that big team if that's what we want? So my perspective is find a way to still sell your thing that allows you to actually live your life. So for me, that's email marketing and introducing a very hearty email marketing campaign into your strategy. So and the reason why I like email marketing is because it can be 100% automated. So you can set up what's called an email funnel that when someone comes onto your email list, they are automatically delivered a series of emails that you write and that you curate and that you strategically place in front of them. And basically what it is a launch. It's basically a launch just like behind the scenes and passive. And so you can nurture the life out of them. You can express how you help people. You can share testimonials. You can do a lot of stuff. And then you can enter them into what's called a pitch sequence. And that thing invites them to join your program. And so ideally, what I would love to see for everybody working in the background is you're constantly generating leads. You're constantly getting people into that funnel. You're nurturing them. You're developing a like and trust factor. And then you're selling to these people. And ideally, you're selling at least something every single day. And that runs, again, it runs in the background. You're not actively showing up to that stuff. So like today when I'm at conferences, I'm expecting a sale to come through. Like, and that's awesome, right? That's what we all want. So like you're actually life-proofing the revenue producing parts of your business. Oh, Nellie, I can't hear you.
I muted myself with my German Shepherd. Thank you.
I was like, oh,
I didn't get too far into talking. Thank you. So, is there a dollar figure that you see in the pitch sequence that performs the best? I'm sure there's lots of variables, but like since they are still so new to the world of you, is there like a dollar figure that you find that works best?
Yeah. So what I teach is I mostly help coaches and experts who have like digital products, memberships, courses. So with my, like if you copy and paste my system, usually like $500 or less.
Okay.
But if you have like a group coaching, a little bit higher ticket something, you can judge my strategy a bit. So we could go up to like $3,000, I would think. But if you're just like strictly going my strategy, 500 or less.
Okay. And the 500 or less, is that going right to like the checkout page? Like they're not like booking a call or anything, like it's truly automated.
You are straight up buying from the sales page.
Yes. Well, I think your belief and your mindset around email marketing, at least on my experience, I used to say like, I don't want to make time for emails. I hate emails myself. And it's like, but I get emails every single day. I buy from emails. Why am I making up this story in my head? So I think a lot of it also is mindset of why not put this in place. Like worst case scenario, you got 0 sales, but you're educating people on what you do that when they are ready to buy, it feels like it's like an overnight sale, but it was because of the email sequences. And best case scenario, you're making money at snack time, nap time, car pickup line without having to do a dang thing.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what we want. And like, if we look at like $1 million businesses, for example, they're not dependent on the CEO, you, the people running it, like showing up live. Like that's simply not how it works. Like I was studying Full Focus Planner the other day. I love that thing. And I have a really great like podcast and they have this big like system, right, that they work people through. It's not dependent on people showing up live. Like they are constantly launching and selling things. They're not showing up live to do that. They're setting those systems up to run in the background and do that work for them.
Yeah.
So like also building your business on something that is dependent on you being live is not a realistic or strong foundation. You should be able to sell without you actually showing it.
I would agree. And when you think about a mom, there's sick days, there's holidays, the summer break is coming up. Like this is the time to get this in place.
Yeah.
And like for me, we've had so many social media glitches recently. I don't know if you've had some on your end. It's like the universe telling me like, okay, like time to get more things in place, more automation in place, like more email marketing. We're even exploring text marketing because moms are so busy. Yeah. So it definitely mirrors your strategy with the emails, which I think is fantastic. So from a email marketing standpoint, they've gotten it up and running. They're getting like, you said the goal is sales daily. Let's say they're getting a sale here and there. How can they optimize their email funnels to get to the point where there's a sale daily? Like, what would you suggest?
Yeah. So like the very surface level answer is like more people in the funnel.
Okay.
Like you generate more leads, you see more sales. Like that's like simple math. If you know like what you're converting at, so like let's say for every 100 people that go through your funnel, 5 buy, you know that's a 5% conversion rate. So if you want to increase that, you get more people in, right? So that's like the very like first like surface level answer. The deeper question or the deeper answer is you look at your actual data. So there's going to be holes in your funnel, and your holes might be on your sales page, might be in your click rate, might be in your open rate. Those are kind of like the 3 main places to look. So if you're seeing like a lot of clicks over to the sales page, but nobody's buying, it's a sales page problem. If you're not seeing any clicks in your emails over to the sales page, it's your call to action to click. And if you're not seeing anyone open the emails, how can they actually click and how can they actually get to the sales page? It's the open rate. So reverse engineering and really looking at your data to drive your decisions instead of what you think is going on is really like the key here. So you can increase conversion rate. So like if you don't want to generate any more leads, your goal then is to like, okay, how can I improve the funnel to get those more sales? If I were to tweak these couple of things on the sales page, would that increase my conversion rate from 5% to 7%? That's a pretty big swing if we're like looking at certain things. So like it's those small hinges that swing those big doors. So it's those like small changes that can really create more momentum for you.
I love that. No, I think that's huge. And it's motivating when you start to see things working like that, because then it only means that it's going to work more. And I do think that that is the challenging part about passive marketing and passive income, because these are both those two things. There is some or a lot of work up front.
For sure.
No guarantee of anything.
For sure. Yeah.
And so I feel like as busy moms, we just kind of like keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Like, coach us around that. Like, because that's more mindset of like, well, I've got other things I've got to take care of. I don't even have the time or energy, and I'm not going to like see that immediate return, or I may not see that immediate return. So why even bother, type of thing. I'm going to bring out the negative Nelly today.
Yeah, no, like a fact of the matter is it's not going to work perfectly the first time. And if it does, like congratulations, you're like a unicorn. So like that's amazing. I'm very happy for you if that's the case. But the reality of the situation is it's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. So I think that's just knowing that going into it is really, really helpful. So a lot of times I hear people say they don't want to like lean on the passive side of things because they're in like feast or famine, right? So their income is all over the place and they feel like they still have to keep the live launch going because like that's the thing that's bringing in the money.
Yep.
So while I understand that and I get it, I would encourage you, like if that's what you are experiencing, you're doing, but you still want like the passive income because you see the writing on the wall, you know, like summer break is coming up, spring break is coming up, I need to get this thing up and running. Like if that's you, which I think a lot of us are, like what can you give up in the live launch? So like, is there a different way to do it? Can you reduce something? Can you take something off your plate? Can you invest in a team member to do something for you so that you have that time to really get this system up and going? And if you've been doing the live launching, you probably have components that can be put into an email funnel. Right?
True. Yeah.
So you probably have a pitch sequence. So it might just be a matter of like taking that pitch sequence that you used for the live launch and using it in your passive launch. So I'd argue you probably already have components ready to go for the passive launch. Or is it that you just like hunker down for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks and like get it up and going? And maybe you like take a break from social, you take a break from your podcast, you take a break from a lot of maybe activities in your business to give you the time to get that up and running. I did that recently and my goodness gracious, it made a huge difference. I had this project I was working on and I just couldn't get it done. So finally I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like do not as many things. Like I'm just gonna like, it's just temporary. It's 3 weeks long. And because I took a break from those other things, I was able to get the system up and going that I really wanted to do. And now I'm able to really lean on that. So like, it's a, what are you gonna, it's a give and take, right? It's a, what am I going to take away in order to do this thing? And then once I get this thing done, am I going to add this other thing back in?
Right.
And so like, what does that look like for you?
I love that idea. And there's there's small pockets of time that we can make great progress, and progress builds confidence. Like it really, really does. Like people all the time are always asking like, how do I can actually have true confidence? And I'm like, what are you doing every day? Like
do it.
What exactly? Like let's keep your promises to yourself.
Yes.
Like let's take care of yourself. Let's finish any open projects. Like when we have like open-ended loops is what I call them, and they're not closed, it decreases our confidence because we don't believe that we can do things. And so us really prioritizing something like this will like skyrocket our confidence, and like our future self is like, thank you. Like,
yes.
Because until the kids graduate, spring break's always going to happen. Sick days are always going to happen. Summer break, holiday breaks, like, and just even if it's not for your kids, for that feast or famine that you mentioned, there's so many business owners in that really thick right now. Like,
it's hard.
Really thick. And it is hard. And like, I think when it's really good, we forget the dip. And then you go in the dip and you're like, insert every bad word, right? And it's like, so until we can start to see those sales every single day, it will, like, you're putting the fundamentals and the foundation, like you mentioned, in place. How many hours do you think it would take somebody to get that, the two sequences up that you mentioned? Like, if you just had to ballpark it.
Yeah, 10 to 15.
Right. So it's like, a lot of people just scroll social media for 10 to 15 hours a week. So it's like, if you just deleted the social media apps from your phone for a week, like, and hunkered down, you would probably get it done. Like, at least one of the sequences, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think a lot of times we overthink it. We think it's like this big, massive undertaking and it's going to, you know, cost us all this time and expertise and energy. And it's like, probably not. You're probably also like thinking it's a lot more than it actually is in your head.
And I also think like at least this is my brain. Once something's live, it's so easy to tweak. Like tweaking doesn't take a lot of time. It's getting the first initial phase done that in our brains we feel like is going to take a million hours. And it's like, oh, an hour a day, 2 hours a day for just a short amount of time could lead to 6 figures in sales, right? Like it could pay for your kids' college. Like we got to get out of our own way. Like we've got to get out of our own way and do it. So really quickly, so let's say there's a group of people that don't buy from that pitch sequence, because that will happen.
Yeah.
What absolutely. Do you suggest people to do? Do they go into another sequence? Do they go just into your general like email list? Like from there, what happens?
You could roll them over into your general email list. Like that's definitely something you could do. But I'm always a fan of re-engaging them. So there was a reason why they didn't buy. It was either that they needed more time with you. They didn't know if you were like the actual person to help them do that. It may have like just been a time, like I don't have time for this thing right now, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different reasons that people don't buy. So it's not that it's I always view it as like I'm never going to buy. It's just a not right now situation.
Yes. Yep.
So what I'm a fan of is a re-engagement sequence that just gives them a little bit more information about you, that helps them to understand more about how you can help them, that talks about maybe some client work you did together, that really, like, I call it a re-engagement email. It re-engages them and gets them thinking more about the pain point that you have or that they have, how you can help them solve it, and then gives them just some tangibles. And then from there, you can enter them into another pitch sequence. I would offer the same product, you know, whatever the thing is that you pitched originally, but just a different offer. So like maybe the first pitch was for an annual membership in your membership. Maybe the second one is a trial because maybe they just need that bar like lowered, that risk bar a little bit lowered in order to make it a better investment for them.
I love that. I love that so much. That's genius. We get in our own head so much on social and in our email, and we like, at least for me, I'm like, okay, they didn't want it. It's like, if they're still connected to you on social and on your email list, like when people don't want something, they walk away, right? Like, or they like, it's just not for them, or the person's not for them. So if they're still in your sphere, in your world, on some level, they're interested in something, like,
Yeah.
and they may not be able to put their finger on it. It may not be the right time. So it's like, I think when I implement these strategies that you're suggesting, it really helps take care of that fear of like, let me just let the email funnels work. Like, let me just back away and let them work.
Absolutely.
Let them work.
Yeah. When it's up and running, like you don't even have to think about it.
Yes.
So wonderful.
How long do you think it should be up and running before there's any tweaks? Like, is there a certain amount of people that go through the funnel?
Yeah, get like 100 people through it first.
Okay, cool.
Don't
touch
it. Just let it go. Ignore it. Like don't be email. Don't be like checking. Turn it off. Whatever you have to do. Like don't touch it until you have 100 people have gone through it.
Okay, I like tangible things. Yeah. So so we won't touch it until there's 100 people in it. Then we'll make tweaks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, you're amazing. I could talk to you all day, but I do want to be mindful of your time, especially when you've got conferences to get to. You probably have a to-do list, all the things. So where can people find you? What do you have going on? How can people work with you? Like, give us all the tea.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm launching a brand new video series. It goes live on the 20th, which is next Wednesday. I had to look at the calendar. It's called The 3 Email Marketing Fatal Flaws. Ooh. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the 3 things that I see people doing in their email marketing that just is blocking them from sales daily. I worked with over 400 coaches and experts last year, and I saw these trends just repeat over and over and over again. And it was no matter like what level of business they were at, like 7-figure, 6-figure, 5-figure. I just saw these things repeating over and over again. And so to help everybody not make these mistakes and to not block yourself from selling daily, that's why I created the video series. So you can find it at AllisonHardy.com/fatal-flaws. Okay. I'm gonna put that in my bio. I'm gonna put it in a pinned post on my profile here pretty soon. So visit that and sign up and learn more about email marketing.
Are you still running cohorts too?
I am ending the mastermind and I'm launching a new program called Email Genius.
Ooh, love this.
Yeah.
Can we get a little sneak peek, or is it not ready yet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. So it's very simple. We're going to help you sell through email every single day. Like that's the deal of the program. I'm going to be coaching around email marketing. We have a co-coach, Samantha Burmeister, who's a sales copywriter. She's going to be auditing your copy if you're a client. Every month, we're going to have some guest expert trainings. It's meant to be a really comprehensive program that helps you to actually set the system up and to actually see sales every single day. And so that's going to kick off April 1.
And like, I don't know about you, but getting payment notifications is like my favorite thing ever. Like I don't care if it's for $1, $1,000, $1 million, like it never gets old, because I'm sure you feel the same way, that every entrepreneur starts at $0. There is no guarantee for any of us, like
absolutely
any of us. And so I remember the day that I decided to leave my job to build something online, and it's gone through lots of trial and error, which is a part of the process. No one rarely gets it right on the first time, like you mentioned, like with anything. And so embrace the trial and error because of those payment notifications and the time freedom that it provides for you and your family. It's worth the risk. It is such worth the risk. So, and anytime we can, knowledge is power. So if you're watching this or listening to this, now you know a little secret in the online sales and marketing space, and now we can implement it. So follow Allison on Instagram. She has a great podcast. Tell them about your podcast, and then we'll get you out of here for the day.
It's called 6-Figure Secrets, and Nellie's been on it. She's wonderful, of course. And I interview other entrepreneurs, and we pull back the curtain and talk about what's working right now in your business to help you get results. So some of the strategies are like super nitty gritty. Some of them are bigger picture. I interviewed a woman this morning named Jen Liddy, whose episode will go live on the 1st, all about quiet influence and like what that is. And I was like, ooh, tell me more. Ooh. So just these very like tangible snippets of information meant to really help you figure out and land on what success looks and feels like for you.
Yes. I love when someone's like, can you keep a secret? I'm like, absolutely. Yes. But I'm also going to tell my whole audience when it's business related.
Tell me more.
Right? So I love that approach. It's really fun and playful and impactful, which is huge. And I believe the more we share, like you're such a giver in the online space and you help so many people. So thank you for everything that you do. And it's so helpful, especially for
Yeah.
moms. We need all the help that we can get. So make sure you're following Allison, get connected with her, find out more about the video series and Email Genius. Anything else you want to say before we end for today?
No, Melly, thank you so much. You're always so generous with your platform. So thank you for having me.
Oh, it's easy when it's awesome people like you. So thank you so much. So get to work on your email funnels and let Allison know when you're working so she can hold you accountable in the DMs. All right, Mama. Have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.